What's up, everybody? So I am back from the BC Drag It Challenge. If you haven't checked out my last video, which is actually airing today, I just did that 1,000-kilometer BC Drag and Drive event. So if you're interested in stuff like that, go back and check it out. But on this video, we are back to work on the 64 Chevy 2. Hopefully for a little primer and paint on the undercarriage and a few other pieces. Cue the intro. Alright guys, so if you're not familiar with the Chevy 2 project, you can also go back and watch all those videos. To this point, I've been pretty much rebuilt the back end. Pretty much everything in the back is all new. Mini tubs, narrowed frame rails, the complete TCI 4-link has all been fitted. So it's all been in and back out again. And then yesterday what I did, I spent the entire day sandblasting. I don't know how much you can see, but the entire underside of the car has been sandblasted. So the next step on this, I'm going to do a bunch of cleanup, and then we're going to get it into the paint booth and up in the air as high as I can get it, and get the underside and inside the trunk area is all going to get primed and painted, some primer on the quarter panels. I am not doing the complete car, as I've said in the past on this. Customer just wanted basically a structural restoration to get it all solid so he can take it from there, do all the running gear, get all the 4-link installed properly. I'll probably just throw it back in but won't align anything just so it's a roller. He's got a whole front suspension to do, motor, everything. So that will be the next thing for this car after I get some primer and some paint on the undercarriage. And then all of that stuff there will be getting painted up as well. So I'm going to see what I can get done today. It's Friday morning. My son is actually graduating today. So it's just going to be a part day for me. I'll get done what I can here for a few hours. And then obviously we have things to do, family stuff. So anyway, I'm going to start cleaning up. I'm going to vacuum out the remains of the sand. And then we'll see what's going to be the next step. So I changed my plan of attack here a little bit on this car. I think because I've only got a partial day today, what I've decided to do is just to get some epoxy primer and a couple of coats of high build primer on the quarter panels. And then next week when I get back on it, I'll be able to concentrate more on just getting epoxy primer underneath the car and inside all the trunk area, and then we'll be getting some paint in those areas. So rather than trying to do the epoxy and the high build and then the paint, because I would be having to kind of mask it, because you don't want that overspray from the high build epoxy, or from the high build primer, sorry, going over onto your epoxy primer. Then you're going to have that seedy kind of overspray. So I decided this is a better way to do it. So I'm going to go mix up some epoxy primer and get spraying on this thing. So there's a coat of epoxy and a couple of coats of urethane high build primer on the back end of the car. And I think that's where I'm just going to leave it for today. It's lunchtime on Friday, and yeah, got a lot to do today for my my son's graduation, so at least I got a little bit of work done. So when we come back next week, we'll get this thing up in the air and start working on the underside of the floor. So we'll get some paint on the Chevy 2. On the underside and inside anyway. So there's the inside of our trunk. And the whole underside is painted as well. I don't know how well you guys can see under there with no lights, but yeah, I guess you can see that it's shiny in one color anyway. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get all the suspension pieces in here, get those painted as well. And we're getting close to where this one will be ready to go home to the customer. Well, here's the next batch of parts set up, ready for paint. So, as you can see, this is a whole lot of pieces. And I think only other painters will understand what a giant pain in the ass it is painting stuff like this. But that's okay. Gonna get her done. Next time you guys see them, you'll know what color they are. So here's all the suspension pieces painted. So it's 2 coats of epoxy primer and then 3 coats of the, I think it's Marina Blue on there. So customer wanted it all painted to match the body of the car, so I think this is going to look super good when it's all put together underneath. So I'm going to let this cure up overnight, and probably in the morning we'll be bolting this stuff together back in the car one more time. Well, good morning everybody. So here's all our parts. I guess I showed you those yesterday when I finished up. Well, yesterday for me, 30 seconds ago for you. So it's like 5 a.m. One of the joys of being self-employed. And I'm gonna start reassembling this 4-link. So let's start putting some pieces together. Well, there's the main cross member in place. I didn't bother recording as I was putting it in because it's just a whole lot of up and down and under the car and in the car. But if you're interested in this, I did a series of videos of installing this the first time, fitting it up. And as I said in the first videos, I'm not a car builder. This is the first time I have done one of these, but I'm just a body man. But yeah, this TCI kit fits amazingly well. And you notice the underside of the car. I mean, it's good. It's been completely sandblasted and painted, and I've patched up a few places. But we're not going for show car. I mean, we could have put this on a rotisserie and spent another, 3 weeks smoothing out the bottom of the floor to perfection. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a driver, and a really, really nice driver at that. So I'm going to continue on hanging the rest of these suspension pieces, and I'll keep you guys posted. So here's another quick check-in. I'm not really filming while I'm assembling this because it's just kind of a pain in the butt. But if you happen to be doing this, or if you watch my last videos, you'll see the process. It's all pretty straightforward. So there's the rear shock mount installed. And we'll crawl over here. And the frame connectors are also installed. So they're all tightened down. Oh, that light's kind of crappy. So next thing will be the 4-link bars and then the rear axle. Alright guys, well, this 64 Chevy 2 is officially ready to go back to the customer. He's going to take it and do a bunch of mechanical work, and it will be coming back. So if you didn't follow along on the series on this car, just a really quick recap. So I did the trunk floor dropouts, back panel, narrowed the frame rails for the mini tubs, and then of course the TCI 4-link with the it's a narrowed Curry 9-inch rear end. So there's a look at it all together. This one's got the optional sway bar attachment, so I've installed that too. Nothing's aligned, everything's just bolted up so we can turn it back into a roller. Customer will go over all that and set it up the way he wants it. There's another look from a different angle here. So there's a look at the 4-link, and of course it's got the frame connectors. And I think, like I said in the last video, if you are thinking about taking this on, this truly is a bolt-in kit. This TCI stuff is fantastic. Everything fit incredibly well. I'm super duper impressed with it. Everything's super heavy duty, and yeah, real precision, real nice stuff. So one other thing I'll show you here before we end it. So these are just the crappy old tires I use for drag racing with my old Trans Am. Those are just on a 15 by 10 wheel, and that's a 12-inch wide tire. I did cycle the suspension, and it fits right into that wheelhouse, and there's all kinds of room for that tire. So I believe he was talking about going to a 315, so there's going to be all kinds of room for that. So, as always guys, if you enjoyed the video, just do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment on the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this kit. I mean, to me, this is awesome. If you've, I mean, I don't have experience with this stuff. It's not like I've installed other brands of 4-links, but, you know, if you're familiar with that stuff, let me know. Let me know what the other kits are like if you've done this stuff, because I am super impressed with this TCI setup. So there we are. You will see more of this car in the future. I don't know when it'll be. It'll probably be a while, but it'll be coming back for the rest of the body and paint. In the meantime, I'm hoping to get right back on the Charger. It's been quite a while since we worked on that. I actually have the 4-link components to put into that car now too. And then we're hopefully going to get on to prepping and painting it and getting it done for the customer. And amongst all my weekly jobs, I try and get these big ones done, but at the end of the day, just one guy. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you come back and check out the next one.